Was a good one to Cozier. That one not coming back in, I think just holding its own and missing the outside edge of the bat. Willis to Cozier.
Cozier, expecting that short delivery to get up, was disappointed as the ball barely got chest high. There's really no need for Cozier to duck on that occasion. At least there's one redeeming feature about it: he didn't try to hook it. Had he done so, there might have been a catch result into that man at backward square leg.
Off the edge and he's out. So Cozier going for that drive. A very good catch there, taken by Gooch. So Cozier's out. Caught Gooch off the bowling of Willis for 4, and Australia now have slumped to 5 for 78. Frank Tyson.
Well, really, Gary Cozier did fall for the 3-card trick there. We saw earlier in Willis's over a ball outside the off stump make Cozier play and miss. On that occasion, a similar sort of delivery, a little bit further up, tempted Cozier into trying a drive. It was too wide. Cozier wasn't across to it. The ball just about held its own, and the resultant thick edge was quite easily caught by Gooch in the slips.
That was the end of Willis's 11th over. His figure's now 3 for 28. To McLean. The sweep shot is up in the air and it's out. So again.
And McLean knew he was out. He was walking before the catch was completed. So McLean falls again to Miller, who claimed his wicket in Brisbane's second innings, LBW. He was very close to being LBW in Brisbane, trying the sweep. But now here he is trying the sweep, second ball, and edging it onto his pad. Let's have a look at it. It's extraordinary how the ball that was so wide of the leg stump managed to lob up there into the silly point position.
The fieldsman there is Gooch, so he's taken the last 2 catches. So McLean is out for naught. Caught Gooch off the bowling of Miller, and Australia now are 6 for 79.
The incoming batsman, a local lad, getting a round of applause from his home crowd, Bruce Yardley.
There's a single. Willis is deep at mid-on, so Yardley's off the mark. 1, 2-21, and it's 6 for 80.
So Bob Willis is the bowler, and Yardley the batsman. And that's not a very good shot. Never really to the pitch of that ball. Very airy-fairy, loose shot outside the off stump. 4 slips, squarish gully waiting. And that's a handsome shot off the back foot by Yardley. Great roar of applause from his local supporters here, and they'll take 3 very comfortable runs. So that's the situation as drinks come out here, and we can now cross down and join Wally Foreman.
It's been another very disappointing morning for the Australians, and I'm sure no one is more disappointed than the Australian captain, Graham Yallop. Graham, it was an encouraging first 30 minutes, but then trouble set in again.
Well, that's true, Wally. I think I hope to get a few more runs on the board now, but you know, it was an encouraging start. Then we had that collapse, as you said.
First problem, of course, is going to be to avoid the follow-on.
Well, that's true. I'm sure we'll get that, but I'm hoping to get a lot more runs than just the follow-on.
Do you think there's enough left to get seriously close to that 309?
Oh, yes, I think if Bruce remains with Peter, Peter will stay there for as long as he possibly can, and then we've got another couple of batsmen to go.
Probably the saving grace so far this morning, Graham, has been the form of Peter Toohey.
That's true, yes. Peter's playing extremely well there this morning. It's really encouraging because he hasn't been in terribly great form over the last few weeks, and it's encouraging to see him get a good start this morning.
What went wrong yesterday afternoon, Graham?
Well, I think one of the reasons was the fact that we'd fielded for 2 days, and not many of us had done that for quite a few years, I'd say, and it does tend to get to you after a while, and I think some of the fellows were a little bit tired, but that's making no excuses. We should have stuck around there and still been there today.
Is the English swing bowlers, or are the English swing bowlers, causing you problems? You all did well in the West Indies against sheer pace, but this is probably your first confrontation with good swing bowling.
Well, that's right. They're very good seam bowlers as well as swing bowlers, and we will have to try and counteract that seam off the wicket that producing all their wickets for them.
Graham, thanks very much for your time, and all the very best of luck for the remainder of the game.
Thanks, Wally.
So play about to resumed, in fact, with the first bowling change of the morning. Bob Willis taking a well-deserved rest, and it seems that he's going to be replaced by John Lever. It's over-pitched again, and a magnificent stop there by Randall. Save 4 certain runs. Beautiful pickup.
what a character, what a great fieldsman he is. This is a superb shot by Bruce Yardley. He's really given this something. Wide, he's thrown the foot well out away from it, hit it in the middle, and Randall there has thrown himself one-handed and picked it up cleanly. A magnificent stop.
I'll tell you what, that's the best shot we've seen in this match.
It is. No run.
Poor old Bruce Yardley didn't get a run for it. He's found the gap all right this time. Cracking shot through extra cover. Gooch giving chase to it. My word, this outfield really is slow in this match. He's able to pull it up. They've got to run them. They'll run 3. And the shot, which I would have thought under normal conditions, must have brought 4. Shows the men out. Just 2 of those falling this morning, Cozier and McLean, following the 4 that were dismissed last session here yesterday. And that's a lovely shot. Randall giving chase with 2 runs in here for Peter Toohey. So Mike Hendrick, the Derbyshire medium pacer. 3 slips he's got. A similar sort of field, in fact, to John Lever, although he's going to operate right arm over the wicket. Yeah, the field at mid-wicket in that position where he's swooped in and run a lot of people out recently. But the single brings 3 figures up for Australia. But they've got 6 men back in the pavilion. And Peter Toohey has made 30 of those on the board, 30 out of the 100.
And also, of course, saves the follow-on. If ever it was going to be enforced, and I can't imagine it would have been.
Yardley now to face Hendrick. Oh, that's a good delivery. Cut away very sharply, and Yardley's gone, caught behind, and that was a very good bowling change. There's a little bit of movement that Braley was looking for. Hendrick supplied it, and Australia a 7 for 100, with Yardley caught behind for 12.
This time Bruce Yardley walking also, which is rather unusual. You don't often see the batsman decide he's out himself and taking off. Yardley playing forward. Very fine edge. No movement at all from the umpire. But Yardley says, I'm out and I'll go.
And there's a debacle for Australia. I don't know what you think about this, Keith, but I can't think they've batted terribly well.
They batted badly because, Jim, this pitch has been played pretty well after the first session on the first day, don't you think? It's played reasonably well, and I think really they think it's down to one thing. It's a bunch of young rookies playing against some rather highly skilled professionals.
So Rodney Hogg, who made some useful runs up at Brisbane in the last Test match, to face Hendrick. It's a wristy flick. There's no 3rd man. There's runs there for Rodney Hogg. Gooch giving chase, and that's the faster part of the outfield out there, so he collects a boundary.
Australia requiring 3 runs to avoid the follow-on. 3 runs, 3 wickets in hand. Taking a single, Tui to 32, 7 for 108. And runs, this will save the follow-on. They'll get a couple here. Chase for lever, they've taken 2. And back for 3. So Australia has saved the follow-on at 7 for 111 with Hogg on 8 and Tui 32. And in the air, but safe is it? Yes, what a shot. That was a shot and a half. It was like a little chip shot to the green. 4 runs.
Willis to Hogg. There's a short one and it's gone inside. He's out. He's been given out, caught off an inside edge, so Hogg is out. Caught by Taylor off the bowling of Willis for 18, and Australia are 8 for 128.
Well, it's very difficult to tell what the expression is on Rodney Hogg's face behind that visor, but let's have a look at the dismissal again. The ball short of a length, and the ball passing between bat and body, well taken by Taylor down the leg side. There was quite obviously some sound there.
Left-hander Dimmock facing his first ball from Willis.
For Tui, Willis has a fairly conventional field. 3 slips, a point, cover, mid-off. The offside field. On the onside, he just has 3 men. A wideish mid-on, backward square leg, and a deep fine leg.
There's a good square cut. Well, not square, I think it was attempted there, but it went pretty fine. But it's 4 more to Peter Tui. He goes on to 43. It's 8 for 136.
Yes, I think Tui's really got to take his courage in both hands and really try something adventurous.
A little bit more air. Nicely flied it for a change. Nearly paid it into a thick outside edge, but those 2 runs for Peter Tui will bring him 50. So a good 50, innings saving 50 there by Peter Tui. He's taken the best bat of 3.5 hours. Total on 8 for 149 as Hendrick comes in. There's the single off the first ball. I don't think Lever will allow him a second this time. And that's a much better throw. So the 150 comes up for Australia, but 8 men are out.
Well, there is a bowling change at this end, and it's Lever coming on, the left-arm bowler. Down the ground, good shot from Tui. That's a beautiful shot. A couple here, he might look for 3. Yes, an easy 3. So Tui on to 60, 8 for 160. Leave it to Dimmock. And there'll be a run here. Yes, they're through. Now, that may be a leg by. We'll look for umpire Brooks and see what was the signal. Yes, indicating the sundry. So sundry's on to 9. It's 8 for 161. And again, fine-looking shot. Now, this one was better timed. It could be 4. It's a chase for Gooch. He may not get to it. It's going to be close. And it's 4. By the look of it, yes, 4 runs. We couldn't see that, but that was quite exciting. Burton to Bell now to Dimmock, who's doing a very good job out there. 9 not out. To Lever, no run.
It's a little slower delivery then by Botham, but Dimmock shaping like a batsman.
Well, just looking at the fall of wicket, is this the best partnership of the match for Australia? They put on 37 now. I think that would be just about the best.
It would be the best of the match.
That's the best for Australia, of course, not for Gower and Boycott, of course, had a big stand for England, but for Australia it's the best partnership. And a nice-looking shot. That was well played. Boycott. And they're looking for... They're not going for a second. And the roar for Jeff Boycott. And a good piece of fielding there. And Dimmock on to 10. And it's 8 for 165.
Now, that's good tactics by Tui then. He obviously wants to strike. They could have got 2 runs quite easily. But Tui's the man we want to face the bowler. Much more proficient man, a much more professional man. And he's 64 as against Dimmock's 10.
The hook shot, and that's beaten the field. And yes, it could be 4. Over the line it goes, just over the line. And 4 more to Tui, his 68. 8 for 170.
Yes, well, we mentioned Tui's got the shots to burn, and now you're starting to see some. 2 beautiful straight drives and that fine hook shot. Beautiful stroke that was. This is what we want Tui to do, play strokes. He's a much better batsman when he's going for the bowling and than being a defender.
Again, magnificent shot that time. Gower just gave that up. That was a magnificent hit. It's going right to the back fence.
Well, having got caning in the first one, it seems rather, knowing that this man is a good hooker, it's rather stupid, I thought, of both of them to bowl him another identical delivery, and here you see it.
And didn't he give that something?
That is the best shot played in the match so far. Best shot, that gets my 10 marks as the best shot played in the match.
Tui to 72, 8 for 174. Again, it won't be 4. I'll get a couple here. Tui 76, 8 for 176, and that makes the partnership 48.
Yes, a bit of silly bowling by both of them. It's okay to bowl one bumper at him, but having seen him really cane, then I would have decided I'll give you your best and decided to keep the ball up to the batsman.
You recall just a few balls ago to his decision not to take that second run. Well, since then he's put on 10 runs.
10 vital runs at this stage for a 10th wicket partnership. 128 they were, 9 for 128 when Dimmock came in, and now they're... I'm still forgetting we've got Hurst to come, haven't we? I'm getting mixed up. I still think there's 9 wickets out. I'm sorry about that.
4 more. I'd say so. Yes, it's on the way. And that's 3 fours and a 2 taken by Tui and the 1 over. I picked that one right off the bat.
Well, I don't think Mike Brealey be very happy about Botham's antics in that over.
In fact, Brealey's going up to speak to him.
Good shots, aren't they? Beautiful strokes.
Tui 78, 8 for 180, and that is the 50 partnership. And that over cost 15 runs, the most expensive over of the whole match.
This is going to be a testing time for Dimmock, the new ball, and a man who's a very good bowler with the new ball. That is Mike Hendrick.
Bowled him. Yes, Dimmock bowled by Hendrick for 11. Tui not out 81. Australia 9 for 185. Hurst, the right-hander, and Hendrick coming in. Hendrick to Hurst. And he's looking for a single there going. Yes, they're 3 for 1. So Hurst is 1, 9 for 186.
Very tall man, Willis.
And he's got a run. He might get 4. That's going out towards the boundary. I don't think the fieldsman will get to it. And that's across the line for 4. You could almost call that a classic square drive. This time for appeal for caught behind. He's out. It's Australia all out. Hurst, caught Taylor, bowled Willis for 5. Australia all out 190. Standing ovation for Peter Turi. Peter Turi remaining 81 not out, and Willis finishing with 5 for 44.
The Australian team would have been very happy to have struggled through to 190. Peter Tui was the mainstay and he played beautiful, and he'd be very pleased with that innings because he really has been out of form. But the game very much in England's favour with a lead of 119 as they go into the last 2 hours of play. And let's see now how those last 2 hours went.
Hogg is bowling to Boycott. And a fairly nice lifting delivery first up.
I wonder if Boycott's going to try and force the pace more in the second innings than he did in the first. Obviously, it is in England's interest now to capitalise on this 119-run advantage that they have and score runs quickly to get 350 ahead as quickly as they possibly can.
Boycott is off the mark with 1, maybe 2. Wood giving chase. They're going back for the second. So it's 2 to Boycott. England no wicket for 2. Gooch to face his first ball from Dimmock.
Dimmock not looking very fast at all from that far end. Just medium pace, genuine medium pace too.
Off the edge, but Gooch is off the mark. Just the 1. Hogg coming up from fine leg. Not fielding cleanly, but it was only the 1 run. Hogg to Boycott. Oh, that's hit him on the head. We'll have another look at that, but I think that hit Boycott on the cap. No, it must... It's leg by, so it's obviously hit his body somewhere. We'll have another look.
It hit him on the head, quite definite. Quite definitely.
Yes, straight off the head. Oh, what a good delivery, and Boycott's gone, I think.
Not out.
No, not out, the man says. There's caps and frustration out there, and the umpire is completely unmoved. Boos from the crowd, but the umpire's in the best position.
Well, what happened there? There seems to be general consternation. It's like a gathering of the clans at the moment.
Well, it's going to be a difficult decision to give from round the wicket, no matter how hard he prays.
Hogg to Boycott. And a run. Dimmock coming in from deep back to square. They're going for the second. The return's on the way, but well run. So Boycott is 23, none for 49. Yardley will bowl to Gooch. Up in the air it goes. It's way over the top. Who's onto it? Yes, it's right over. And landing just inside the line. That was almost a 6. Gooch 22. And that's the 50 up for England. None for 53. They're going for a single. It misfielded there by Darling. He dived for it. Of course, they've got to get up and chase the ball again. They've taken 2 and 2 only. And that is the end of the day with England none for 58, 106.